So it kind of begins with, if you remember on the first episode, or just more accurately, more people are obviously going to remember it, not from the episode of the show, but from the presidential debate from a few weeks ago now. In fact, it's kind of long enough ago now that there's the vice presidential debate happening today. I kind of forgot about that until now. But that comment that Donald Trump made about the Haitian immigrants eating the dogs and the cats and all that, that's really, made the rounds. I think we all kind of knew it would. And I remember at the time I said that I kind of predicted that it was going to cause a lot of people to start kind of saying that as well, repeating that as well, specifically politicians who have something to gain from it. And I mean, I'm not like taking credit for that. Like that was a smart, genius take because I feel like most people could kind of see that because it started, or this hasn't started, but kind of blew up with Representative Clay Higgins, as I mentioned. He made a tweet towards Haitian immigrants last week and said some not very nice things. Honestly, I feel a little uncomfortable reading it even, but just here it is. He said, "quote Lol, these Haitians are wild, eating pets, voodoo, nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere, cults, slapstick gangsters. But damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against Trump and JD Vance. All these thugs better get their mind right and their ass out of our country before January 20th." And that is a direct quote. I mean, if the tweet wasn't just bad in terms of content, I mean, it's also kind of badly written. I mean, a member of the U.S. government writing a tweet with the word "lol," and I mean, this is like a pet peeve where we're writing it like it's a word, not like an acronym. And ass. I mean, maybe I shouldn't expect much from elected officials anymore, but whatever. I mean, I may just need to kind of give up expecting anything now. And I believe it was written in response to. I want to get this story wrong, but it was something like there was some group of people suing, I believe, like Trump and JD Vance for like libel or slander or whatever for these comments, or they were filing charges against them for something, and that was his response. I thought it was a bit weird. Also, they kind of felt he needed to chime in on that at all. It doesn't really affect you personally, but whatever. I guess he felt he had to give his opinion, and only gave his opinion. And when first asked about it, he went on CNN and said, "quote It's all true, and we have freedom of speech. I'll say what I want." I mean, that's first of all, when you say it's all true, most of what you said was kind of opinion. I mean, when you call things the nastiest country and the da da da, that's actually an opinion. You can't prove that. And then second, I like how we cited freedom of speech as the defense of saying that because it's such like a played out response. I've seen a lot from people all the time of saying when someone says something ridiculous, they say freedom of speech, as the defense. Well, we're not really saying you can't say it legally because freedom of speech just defends your legal right to say something without facing like repercussions from the law. Okay, I mean, you should probably defend what you actually said instead of just the right to say it, because most people weren't trying to debate your right to say it. We're just attacking the fact that you said it. According to NPR, actually, the House, I don't remember, it was one of the caucuses because the House has a majority Republican, or is a Republican majority. So obviously the House at large probably didn't do this, but there was a resolution to censure Higgins, and while I can't find out for sure if that was the exact catalyst, I think that's what finally got him to apologize. Now, I say that it was pretty obvious that wasn't going to pass. Although I mean, good on whoever brought it to be voted on because I believe it didn't pass. But I don't know. Seeing that was, I guess, enough because later that day, according to NPR, Higgins took down the post and the next day said, "quote You never want to intentionally hurt someone's feelings, and that post was intended for Haitian gangs. You understand? The unintended impact that was expressed very sincerely from one of my colleagues, very graciously, that touched me as a gentleman." Uh, I mean, the words "I'm sorry" might have helped the statement a bit, Clay. I'm just saying. And I mean, you said some things that were pretty racist, actually, and you didn't really even like officially apologize for it. I mean, I like how his response was kind of like, "No, no, no, you don't understand. I was talking about gangs." Was the word gangs anywhere in that initial statement? I mean, did I miss it? Was it there? I don't know. And I feel like you kind of don't really get to say, quote, something touched you as a gentleman. I mean, I'm sorry, bro, but you lost your gentleman cred forever after that one. It's just, that's a bit, maybe even a bit overboard, dude. I don't know if you can call yourself a gentleman, at least for a while. So, interestingly enough, after all this came out, Higgins' record began to come under scrutiny. And, I mean, I think most people could have seen that coming after that tweet. So, according to, there was a website, Mother Jones, which I'm not really familiar with. I guess it's like a news related website or something like that. Higgins had admitted that he voted for David Duke for governor in 1991 and acknowledged that he's a Nazi. as you know, David Duke, former Grand Wizard of the KKK, and that the first of his three ex-wives wrote that in 1991 Higgins actually put a gun to her head during an argument and threatened to shoot her if she came near the house again. And he also resigned from his local police department in 2007 after reportedly assaulting an unarmed black man and then lying about it. So it's very possible. I just want to make clear, I'm not saying any of this happened. I'm just going by what they had written. So maybe some of this stuff didn't happen or was exaggerated. I mean, I did read the newspaper article where he talked about David Duke, and he was saying that, acknowledging he was a Nazi. So, whatever. I don't know like. Is it possible some of this is true, lies, like whatever? Yeah, I mean, I guess, but at the same time, it's clear. I mean, he doesn't have the world's greatest record. I don't think there are a lot of people who disagree with that. So a guy possibly did those things and then was tweeting those things about Haitian immigrants is a member of the United States government. It's truly the greatest political system in the world we got here. And interestingly enough, also according to Mother Jones, Higgins actually kind of acknowledged some of this in 2015, saying, "quote Not only did I do things wrong, you better start early, pack a lunch, and bring batteries for your flashlight and pretend to go back through my history and find everything I've done wrong." Okay, so that explains it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I guess that's an acknowledgement at least of some of the things that he's come under scrutiny for are probably true. I mean, this was before this article I read, so I don't know what he's exactly referring to, but I guess it's an acknowledgement of probably there are things that people would criticize him for that he's agreeing with are true. I mean, I don't have the energy to go through and bring my pickaxe and pack a lunch and the batteries and all that to mine through to his past, dig through his history, but maybe someone out there does. I don't know. And I think it would be best to close on something actually the speaker said, Mike Johnson, which is, according to NPR, he said, quote, "I just talked to him about it. He said he went to the back and he prayed about it and he regretted it." That's nice, that he regrets being racist. But I don't know. Like, I feel like praying about it maybe is a good first step. But the next step is to kind of show that you've changed. And it would also be a good step maybe if we, like, elect few people who are not racist next, or people who aren't going to make the mistake. I mean, I'm not saying don't forgive people or pray for people or whatever. I'm not saying anything like that, but changing is a good thing to do, but it's also takes a strong person to not do the thing you're being criticized for in the first place. But I don't know. That's just me. That's just, what do I know about this whole thing?